Hi, I'm Molly with the Clayful Co. I'm a professional polymer clay artist, and I'm here to walk you through the step-by-step process of making polymer clay earrings. Throughout these videos, you will see me using our DIY clay starter kit. If you have already purchased this kit, thank you so much for supporting our small business. And if you're interested in this kit, any of the tools you see in this kit, or our clay cutters, texture tiles, etc., head on over to our website, theclayfulco.com, or check us out on Amazon Prime. When making polymer clay earrings, the first thing you'll want to do is decide on a color. For this video, I'm going to be using this dusty blue color, which is found in the clay color recipes included in this kit. You can also use the colors of clay right out of the packaging, but if you'd like to use a custom clay color from the color recipes, you'll want to be sure to watch the video tutorial explaining how to follow a clay color recipe prior to watching this video if you haven't already done so. Once you have your color mixed, or if you're using the clay right out of the packaging, the first thing you're going to want to do is condition your clay. Conditioning your clay is one of the most important things you will do, so make sure you don't overlook this step. Conditioning properly helps ensure your durability and flexibility of your piece post-bake and also helps reduce bubbles. To condition, you'll just knead your piece of clay over and over and over. This seems like a tedious process, but it's very important. Conditioning your clay is really pretty simple, and there's not really a right or wrong way to do so. You can roll it, you can squish it on your tile, you can use your roller to help condition your clay by rubbing it back and forth, smushing it down, then folding it over and repeating this process. If you are going to be using a roller, when you fold it, make sure that you roll your roller in the same direction as your crease, which will allow the air to come up and out on either end rather than trapping little air pockets along your crease. Air pockets will create little pesky bubbles that will appear after baking. Because of this, as you condition your clay, if you see little air bubbles, you'll want to try and pop them as you go. You can do this by using the needle tool included in your kit. Clay can really vary in the level of dryness when you first open it from the package, or if you have had it for a while. So each piece of clay will vary in the amount of conditioning needed to make it workable. A good way to test to see if your clay is well conditioned is to fold it in half and see if you're getting any little cracks in your clay. If you're getting cracks, you need to continue to condition. If you have a pasta machine, that's another really great way to condition clay, and I have another video with tips for doing it that way. While you condition your clay, you may find that your clay starts to get pretty sticky from the heat of your hands. If that happens, just place it in the fridge or freezer for a little while until it cools off. And if it's still sticky after that, you can also do a technique called leaching, where you set it out on a piece of printer paper and that printer paper will pull some of the oils out of the clay. Once you have your clay conditioned, you are ready to roll out your work surface. To do this, you need your ceramic tile and your roller. First, it'll be a lot easier if you can start with a relatively flattened piece of clay. You can do this just with your hands. Set it on your tile, then get out your roller. The roller in your kit includes 2 depth guides. There is a pink one that is a less thick depth guide and a purple one which is a bit thicker. These make your piece all the same depth so you don't get uneven clay. For the purpose of earrings, I prefer to stick with the pink one as the purple one tends to be a bit too thick for my liking. Using this roller, roll back and forth in multiple directions until your piece of clay is all rolled out at an even depth. You'll want to make sure both of your depth guides are touching your tile. If they're hanging off your tile, you can always scooch them inward a bit. In addition to making your piece all the same depth, you also want to try and avoid bubbles and divots in your clay, as these will show in your pieces. It can be pretty tricky to do this, and I'll show you how to work around the inevitable bubbles and divots in your clay in the next few steps, but try and minimize these as much as possible. You can use your needle tool to poke any bubbles that come up, and then use your roller to roll over top of them to smooth them back down into the clay. Once your clay is rolled out to an even depth, and you have minimized the bubbles, you're ready to cut your clay. You can use clay cutters, or you can freehand cut using an X-Acto knife. In this video, I'm using 2 of our cutters from the Clayful Co, which are also included in your DIY kit. When determining where to make your cuts in your clay, I try to avoid those inevitable spots that have bubbles or lint, or they may have little divots in the clay. In a future video, I'll talk about strategies on how to get rid of bubbles post-bake, but it's so much easier if you can avoid them all pre-bake. When using clay cutters, it's as simple as pushing really firmly down and pulling straight up. As long as your clay is stuck firmly to your tile and you're using high quality and sharp clay cutters, you shouldn't have any issues with your clay sticking to your cutters. Once you've finished cutting your shapes, remove the excess clay. You can use this later. And now you need to decide if you want to do your holes pre-bake or post-bake. Included in your kit is a hand drill for drilling post-bake, and it will make them look very crisp and clean. The other option is to use your needle tool and make a little hole in your clay before you bake. I'm going to use my needle tool to make these holes in one set of these earrings, and then I'm going to use my hand drill post-bake to do it on the other pair of earrings, so that way you can see the difference. When using the needle tool, just find the center and gently make a circular motion until you have a little hole. You want to make sure your hole is big enough for your jump ring to go through. Now you're ready to bake. The great thing about the tile included in your kit is that it's oven safe, so you can put the whole thing right in your oven. Preheat your oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit, put the tile in right with your clay pieces on it, and bake for 1 hour. Now I know that the clay package is going to say otherwise. However, the amount of time that it tells you to bake on the package is just simply not enough. This is proven amongst several clay makers, and after lots and lots of trial and error myself, that amount of time just isn't enough and your clay will come out being pretty brittle. Actually, with clay, the longer that it's in the oven, the more flexible it will get. Once you're done baking, watch the next video for the post-bake tutorial.